Hey there. Welcome to another day in the life of NVIDIA and AI. I'm Jim Munchback, and I am just about to interrupt a couple of people. I apologize if I'm interrupting you, but I'm going live from Bayrock Financial. I'm a little bit late today looking at some charts, and I wanted to share with a couple of folks who are interested, who are looking at NVIDIA. We've been watching NVIDIA very closely. Uh, I've got a couple of folks who are very interested, waiting to get into NVIDIA. Right now, we do have, we, full disclosure, we invest, we invest in a lot of things at Bayrock, and NVIDIA is one of them. So just looking at the chart, I wanted to share this. A couple of folks wanted to meet with me today to talk about it, so I thought I'd just go live and share what I'm looking at. Here's what we're looking at. And by the way, you can let me change my little thing there. You can look in the excuse me. You can look in the comments of the video wherever you're seeing this on Twitter, X, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, or on the website. But if you look in the comments, there is a link which will take you to the post. So this is the post as it can be. Uh, it is not working. We're fixing it. The team's working on it. We moved from one host to another, and it's been a very difficult transition from Bluehost to GoDaddy, and I wouldn't recommend either one of them. So anyway, I did get to post this finally on the website, and that worked, and I'm thankful for that. But like I said, the comments have a link to this post, and I will be putting more content there as we follow it. So the big question is right now, do we want to jump in before earnings? Because NVIDIA is reporting earnings tomorrow. And if you look at this chart, you'll just see that it's been a really strong performer NVIDIA has. And I guess my concern is, and this is what I'm telling folks is, NVIDIA is such a big mover of the market, and they've been priced for perfection in terms of their earnings. They've done a great job, and I think they probably will continue to do a great job. And I think if you don't own any NVIDIA, now wouldn't be a bad time to get in, but you just got to know that with earnings coming, there's a 7%, I think it's a 7%. Uh, this is from Perplexity. Actually, I think this was from Chat GPT. Did a little research just to get the news that was going on out there. And according to the options markets, to the movement in NVIDIA, coming up on earnings is about 7%. So if you think about it, if you look at that chart, a 7% move from where we are today in either direction, that's a pretty big move. So if you have the risk tolerance for that and you've got a lot of cash in your portfolio, this is probably something you may want to consider. But I just wanted to share this chart. There's a couple other charts I wanted to just kind of highlight. Uh, let's look at Microsoft for a minute. It's done well. We've had a pretty good pullback in the tech sector, uh, and that's what we've been waiting for to get in to a couple of these stocks. If we look at the chip sector, this is the SMH. I like this ETF. It gives you exposure to the chips. So if you wanted to invest in NVIDIA without the direct risk, the volatility, this would be a little bit, this one has plenty of movement, plenty of volatility, but it's SMH. It would give you exposure to all of the chips in addition to NVIDIA. The thing with NVIDIA is it is such a huge part of the S&P 500 that it is going to move the market one way or another. And I generally expect that when their earnings come out, it will move the market one way or another. I don't know which way. but it's been very consistent. NVIDIA has very consistent in doing better than we expect in terms of earnings. So, you know, it's pulled back a little bit, and I think it's probably, uh, like I said, a better time to consider getting into NVIDIA than it was when it was at all-time highs 5 minutes ago. So here we go. Let me look at the S&P 500. And this is the chart, the S&P 500. The SPY is I'm looking at a 3-month chart. I'm fiddling with it on my iPad. So that's why it may look like I'm a little distracted. I am a little distracted because I've been working on my website, and that's not fun. The team has So here I am in the studio. If you've never seen my studio, welcome to my studio. This is where I teach personal finance at the University of Houston, and this is my kind of like my little playpen. So I'm trying to find. There we go. If we're not connected on LinkedIn, you're probably watching this on LinkedIn or YouTube or Facebook or X, Twitter X, and so um, this is where I do my work, a lot of my work. It's where I set up my charts, but right now I'm using this iPad. So back to this chart, the S&P 500, the SPY is the S&P 500. This is a 3-month chart. So whenever, whenever you hear somebody talking about the market, my uh, my framework for the market is this chart. This is the S&P 500. It's an ETF, an exchange traded fund. It's not a mutual fund. They're very different. So if you wanted to invest in the market, this would be my recommendation. This is not a video about investment advice, but this is what I talk about every day with my students at the University of Houston in personal finance. If you want to learn how to invest, this is a great vehicle to learn how to invest. Warren Buffett has said many times, if you were smart, you just put your money in the S&P 500 and let it ride. And this is the way to do that. This exchange traded fund has very low fees. It's super liquid. There's a penny thin spread. So between the bid and the ask, you generally want to invest in things that have huge liquidity and have a very thin spread. SPY also has a very active options market. So we do a lot of covered calls at Bayrock, and this is a great one for that. It's a very expensive $663 today, which is on sale from its all-time high. You can see its all-time high, and I want to show before we wrap this up, I'm going to go to a 6-month chart. So we are in November right now. It is, by the way, 18 November, year of our Lord 2025. I can't believe it's already November. Where has the time gone? My day and yesterday went mostly to trying to fix our website. Not the whole day, but the team's been very busy with that, and it's been annoying. So let's look at a 1-year chart. This is a 1-year chart of SPY. And the reason I want to show this chart is because if I can get it to, eh, my my MacBook chart, the tool works better on my MacBook, but I can't do that and show it to you at the same time. So what you're looking at in this chart is a 6-month chart of the S&P 500. That's the market. And this, if you want to know what's the market doing, this is a good way to try to figure out what is the market doing. And if you look at that chart and you think back till April, if you watch the market, if you look at your statements, back in April, it felt very painful because we were having quite a pullback, as you can see in that chart. That was around April right there, that downturn. But look what happened, that big green candle. It went up and up, and it's pretty much gone up since April. So I've been telling folks that I think we are due for a pretty good correction. We have generally once a year we have a really decent correction, between 5 and 10%. And you can see that on this chart. And I'm not going to go do a 2-year review of the market today. I just wanted to kind of jump in and talk about NVIDIA. And if you are interested in more details about NVIDIA, then you can check out the post. Again, the link is in the comments. I will be posting more because I'll be watching this. It's about 1:55 p.m. The market closes at 3 o'clock, so I've got some decisions to make, and a couple of my clients also are like, do we buy today or do we wait and see what happens after earnings? So if you're in that situation, like I suspect millions of retail investors and institutional investors, somehow I think the institutional investors have an idea what's going to happen in this earnings call tomorrow. But uh, at any rate, that's why we're doing this video, just to let you know that we're watching NVIDIA. And I'm trying to find it on my chart here. I will do that. It's alphabetical, so it should be easy. So there's NVIDIA, and that's a 1-year chart. So you can see, and this I think will be a good way for us to end this video as we watch NVIDIA. You can follow along, follow this article that I'm posting. I'll put it on the home page. But this is NVIDIA for 6 months. So if you think NVIDIA can't go down anymore, trust me, it can go down more, and it can go down fast, which is what typically happens is things go down fast. Gosh, I've been investing in the nuclear sector. Wow, we've had some significant drawdowns in the nuclear sector. I'm not going to review those charts today with you, but there are some stocks we've been invested in pretty heavily. A couple of friends of mine and myself, and again, not investment advice. Uh, and it's so fast. They can come down so fast. Now, NVIDIA is a different animal. Most of the things we're investing in the nuclear sector are companies that have not yet made any money because they're still a new technology. SMRs, small modular reactors, are what we're really interested in. Believe it's kind of the technology for the future, and I'll be talking a lot more about that in the coming weeks and months. But again, that sector has just gotten smoked in the last week, and it was fast. And so, there's things going on in the market. There's some turbulence, some volatility that's not been with us for a while, as you can see. But if we go back just 6 months, 7 months till April, you can see that we had quite a bit of a pullback there. And I believe these are opportunities. I really do. I'm not sure, and I'm sure you're not sure. If you are, I sure would like to talk to you if you're sure that you know what NVIDIA is going to do after earnings. I'm just not sure what NVIDIA is going to do after earnings, but I am sure that if you've been managing your risk with NVIDIA, especially if what I would be doing if I owned NVIDIA. I do not own any NVIDIA today, but in the past, when I owned NVIDIA, I would generally put covered calls on it when it got to the upper end of its range, and that would protect a little bit of the drawdown, but it kind of hurt if the stock kept going up. So today is not the day I would recommend putting a covered call on NVIDIA. Today, there are a couple option strategies I might talk about, but I'm not going to. Because it's way too sophisticated for the folks I work with. And would just say that this is going to be an interesting earnings call. So if you have comments, questions, if you're watching on YouTube or X or LinkedIn, please leave a comment. And I'd love to read your comments and talk about what you think about NVIDIA and what's going to happen in the earnings call. In the meantime, I may pop in again with another live video, and I definitely will be posting some more information on the website. So I thought I don't. I have a lot of buttons here, as you can see, but I'm not always with it. This was kind of a last minute jump in here and do a video. So I hope I didn't interrupt you. If you have questions or you want to talk, you know how to reach me. I'm pretty easy to reach. Hit me up on LinkedIn, and I look forward to your comments